it'll more than pay my mortgage. Like it'll more than pay the mortgage and the HOA. Plus, my bring home will be like 500, I guess, a month.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So just
I'm
set that
live.
into it.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to?
Oh,
No, it's okay.
no.
I'm sorry. I.
Yeah.
You want to mute it?
No, we're good now. I'm good. I'll talk to you later about it. That's all.
Okay. Good stuff though. That's awesome.
Is that kiwi? Is that kiwi? I mean, I don't care if people know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of like a kind of private thing. So.
No, yeah. It just went as soon as I said we're live. Oh shit! It was
we're
like
live though.
It was like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal, man. I don't care. Oh, Gracie, you're live. Is this kiwi? You want a kiwi? Gracie. Do what? She's trying. Okay, she's trying. That's strong. Oh man, that's strong smelling. Gracie, that's some strong kiwi.
Oh, awesome! Roxanne's with us.
What?
Sorry, Roxanne. I'm just setting everything up at the moment. Oh boy.
Let me get the chat open. I had it.
Do you remember that concert I was saying? Green Day and Fall Out Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Roxanne messaged me like a day later, and she was like, "Hey, look what concert I'm going to tomorrow," and it was that one.
Really?
Yeah, and
that's actually pretty cool.
She's like Oakland, San Francisco area.
That's really cool. Huh? She's just.
You say LMAO,
that's really cool.
but I got that.
Uh-oh. You go get it. Go get it. You're okay. You're not in trouble. Go get it. 5-second rule. Okay. Oh, yeah. 5-second rule, but we'll make sure we pull off that dirt. That's okay.
All right, as soon as I post this, I'm good to
go. Daddy's gotta talk. So go to Mama if y'all are gonna watch TV, okay?
Okay. And I popped the chat out. I was expecting tomorrow night, like I told you. I don't know what day it is. Oh hell yeah! I love Fall Out Boy, Roxanne. I'm always that main singer Patrick Stump. I have a total man crush on him.
Hey, Chin's on too. All right.
Jamie, can I talk to you for a second?
Sorry.
I always get
what?
This is gonna be so bad to me. I'm probably gonna offend you and Roxanne now by saying this. I get Fall Out Boy and My Chemical Romance mixed up, and I have no idea why. Because like if I hear like their songs back to back, nothing like them sounds the same. But if you were to just tell me like a My Chemical Romance song, like the title of one, and say, "Is this My Chemical Romance or is this Fall Out Boy?" I'd be like, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea why, but I think it's because I remember them being on the air so much at the same time that I don't know.
Fuck.
What is it?
I'm trying to.
Is that a robot voice coming? I called fuck you.
No. I'm sorry. How do I mute this? Okay, sorry.
But My Chemical or Fall Out Boy had Phoenix, right? Wasn't that their like one album? Wasn't it called like or something like that? Where's my phone at?
I mean, Fall Out Boy is a little bit more. You know what? I can't actually answer because I don't know much about My Chemical Romance. I know their one song. Yeah, see, I'm with Roxanne. They sound a lot like Panic at the Disco.
Okay, it was Fall Out Boy they had the one album that came out that I did really like, and that was the song The Phoenix. It was Fall Out Boy.
The Phoenix is the first song from
Save Rock and Roll.
Yes, that song is awesome.
That album, I did actually buy that album randomly enough, and that was a really good album.
But see, that's much later Fall Out Boy. That's like,
yeah,
I mean, that album was like 8 years ago. But I only know that one song from My Chemical Romance. But like to Roxanne's point, it's a lot. Yeah. That's actually, you know, you want to laugh? That's the song. I was like, Roxanne, send me a video. And she sent me when they were playing that song. I was like, oh my God, the Phoenix. I
nice.
fucking love that song.
What was it? It was that. Hold on. And then
Yeah, see, I love Phoenix. What's up, Jen? How you doing? Every time we stream, Jen's at work.
yeah, that was that this
Oh,
one. My songs, you know,
Yeah.
yes.
my songs now
I had that shit on repeat. I was that guy. I
Yeah.
did do that.
See, that's funny because that is so much later Fallout Boy. Fallout Boy is known for, I think their most popular song is we're going down, down,
Down and a lily around.
Yeah.
Something, pull it back down. No, that was like I think that was my freshman year of college, actually.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that album that you're talking about was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So just
I think I had just moved to Houston when that album came out. I think, or it was my second year in Houston or something like that, because I was living in this stupidly cheap, horrible apartment when that album came out, and that was when I bought it, and I would just like listen to it all the time because I couldn't afford anything else other than to listen to that one album.
I have to get this guy's name. Hey, you don't know that guy's name, right? I want to talk about his video. Not talk about it, just mention it for other people to watch. So when we have him on, did you finish it?
I literally got to the last season and I had to stop it.
I haven't
because
watched it, so
I had some work to do, and it's really good. It is really good. Like
I'm gonna try and find
the
it.
dude's, he's really funny, really good material. Slipmaker?
Yeah, because I want to
At
at
least
least
that's what it is.
at least want to promote it this way. Because he said he'd come on.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's Slipmaker.
I was like, that's his Reddit handle.
Yeah, it's his YouTube channel too.
Okay.
And there's a Boardwalk one too.
That's what I'm gonna watch that one next. That one though, like, cause I you and me do the same thing. Like I listen to podcasts a lot when I'm typing and I'm doing like research. I'll have podcasts going just as like filler. But I was listening to that because almost every clip that's done, I'm like, I don't need to see it. I can just listen.
Sure.
And it's really good.
Give me 1 second, and then we are good to go.
Okay.
I gotta get my water. There.
INGO BINGO BINGO and Bingo was his name.
All right.
You're talking about Fall Out Boy, and I've got Bingo going on in the background, and I'm just like jamming to it. I sent you that video of her when she had like the rabbit ears, and she's like, she's like going hardcore to it.
All right. If you're ready.
Yep.
All right. 1 second here. Okay. I'm going to start recording on Zencaster. Hopefully we don't get disconnected this time. All right. We are recording.
Okay.
I put my water right there. All right. This is Victor, and now that he's done taking photos at crime scenes he's been in, I'm joined by Colton Duffy. Colton, how are you?
I am good now that I'm done taking photos at crime scenes that I've been in.
We are here today to discuss episode 806, A Little Reflection, the halfway point of season 8. Quick thoughts about the episode. I think we were texting while I was watching it, and I was about to text you like, holy crap, this episode is terrible. And then after finishing the episode, I kind of saw what they were trying to... It's so different watching it and then having to talk about it. I probably repeat that so much when we do this, but I was like, wow, this is terrible. And after I finished watching it, I processed, I was like, okay, I don't love what they're setting up, but I understand it. It was a reset, let's set the tone episode for the rest of the season.
If you were to watch this episode right now, you literally could start season 8 on this episode and you wouldn't have missed dick at this point.
That's a great point. Yep.
Like it's good, but it's also like, well, then why did you just waste the last 5 episodes of our life to get us to this point? But that's been I'm beating a dead horse at this point on that. Like it's I don't know. It's kind of an insult a little bit.
Yeah, I get your. I agree with you. Like, yeah, we could have just started from here or have these two storylines be the whole season. But I just wanted to give a little bit of the episode of kind of what we thought about it, and then we're gonna try.
I do have
Go ahead.
I do have some good things to say about it when we get into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely not gonna knock this one as much as I probably would have, because I'm definitely trying to get some good stuff out on it. So yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into the episode, and like I always say, if you're not interested in us just talking, you can just go in the show notes and fast forward to the actual episode discussion. Me and Colton wanted to do something. I actually came up with this, and it's going to be a total hit or miss.
I'm curious to see how this goes.
This is something basically I like to call the games, and it's just 3 questions that we have 2 people talking, but I have a mystery guest that's also going to answer the questions.
This is what weirds me out. I don't know what's going on this.
So, Colton, do you want me to go first? You want to go first?
I want you to go first for once. Normally I'm okay to go first. No, I want you this time.
So all 3 of us are going to answer the same question and just random riffraff about random topics.
Okay.
So I'll go first. The first one is what's the deal? And my thing is what's the deal with the milk crate challenge? I don't understand what the whole thing is about. I feel old. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've watched some extremely painful videos.
Yeah, there's a great meme. It's like someone sitting in the corner and he's just like kind of like watching, and it's like funeral directors watching the milk crate challenge videos, because they're gonna die.
Yeah, because they're gonna die.
Yeah, nothing makes me feel old when I just don't get a little phenom that's going on. Colton.
Okay.
What's the deal with?
Oh man, and I already know I'm gonna piss off one of our one of the people in the chat by doing this.
Oh no!
I say it. So Jen, I'm really sorry. What's the deal with Harry Potter? I don't understand the obsession with it.
Dude,
I just don't. Jen, I know you're obsessed with it, and I'm so sorry.
Do you want to laugh? I was gonna do that, but I didn't want to piss off Jen.
Jen, I'm so sorry. I love you. I really do. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm not trying to just like knock people that really like it. There's obviously, I'm in the minority with this because there's a whole world out there for it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I've tried to watch the movies. I've tried to read the books. The books are way too big. I'm way too dumb. That's all I can say.
Let me say this.
I don't understand.
Let me say this. And Jen is one of our very loyal listeners. Jen has been with us.
It's all good.
As soon as she found us, she's been with us. At every turn. And this is how you could tell that we love Jen, that we were kind of both scared to say it. I just want to say I love Jen more because I didn't.
Fair enough.
Listen, I'll comment on that. I agree with you. I tried to watch the movies. I just couldn't get into it. Every once in a while, I say to myself, let me just try it one more time. And I'm just like, I'll watch anything else. It's just something that just doesn't hit with us. That's all.
Yeah, I made it through all of them when Grace was born, and because you're sleeping, you're not sleeping, and all of that. Like I was home. I was like, I need to find something to like entertainment. I was like, you know what? I've never watched all of them. Maybe that's what I'm missing out on. Finally sat, and it took me about a month, I think, to get through all of the movies, just with like in between life and stuff like that. It took me about a month to get through all of them, finish them, and I was like, still don't get it. I still just I tried.
Yep.
So they're not bad. They're not bad.
Right.
It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just I'm dumb. I think that's what it is. We're dumb. You and me are dumb. That's what it is. That's my answer to it.
And third guest, what's yours?
What's the deal with all these spam calls I've been receiving lately?
We have a robot in the chat. I didn't know that.
I see that.
You see that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing a robot.
It's odd that the robot's getting spam calls. A lot of spam calls lately.
Okay, Gracie, go to mama, baby girl. Gracie, go to mama. You gotta get a diaper change.
All right, and then our little next game we wanted. Uh-oh.
She made me. She's mad at me because I'm telling her she needs to get a diaper change. I'm sorry. You go to mama. You gotta get a diaper change. We're at that phase. Sorry. Okay, so next up.
Next up, we have Back in My Day. Colton, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Well, you went first, I guess, so I'll go first on this one. Back. Oh man, I actually didn't. This is the one I couldn't figure out an answer for.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna have to fill in some stuff. I guess back in my day, if we wanted our game system to work, I had to blow in the cartridge.
And go to channel 3.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. And make sure the 3 wires are connected properly.
Yes, there's a whole. I could probably talk about retro video games for God knows how long.
Thank you.
I had mine as back in my day. We had to go to the yellow pages to the phone book to get someone's number. Like now we just Google.
That's a good one.
We just Google remotely the name of the company and the city, and it'll give it to you. Like back in the day, you had to like flip through the whatever. Well, that's even like how you found anything. And there was a certain part. I think it was the white pages.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to look up like people's like my friend's address, like their phone numbers if I didn't have it or whatever.
Think about how creepy that is. There was just a book in everyone's house that had everyone's number. Like.
That's so weird now that I'm thinking about it.
And just like,
but that was so normal.
But everyone had a phone book, and it's like now try and find
Every
a phone book.
Every hotel room had a phone book.
Right.
Like, why am I looking at people in a hotel room? No wonder there were so many serial killers back then.
And then Robot, is there something that happened back in your day?
Back in my day, you didn't need an area code to dial someone's number.
It's a good point. You used to dial the number. Do you remember, like on your house phone?
I didn't have to. I didn't have to.
Yeah, just dialed it and that's it.
We all went around technology stuff. You and Robot went with phone related.
It's odd that me and the Robot have this similar thing. So I'm stalling because I forgot to come up with one. Do you have one for the last one?
Yeah, but it's because this is going to be so embarrassing, but it's the only thing I can think of.
Go ahead, because I still need time to come up with mine, so I'm thinking on the fly, but go ahead.
So this one is super embarrassing, but it's the only this is what the question is. It's I'm ashamed to admit this, but...
Do you want me to go first so you don't go too hard?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I'm going to do it.
I just came up with one.
So I'm ashamed to admit this, but I don't know how to burp. Yeah. I don't know how to burp. Yeah, it's weird. It's very, very
Hold
weird.
on.
Uh-huh. I knew this was gonna blow your mind too. I was like,
It's
I've never told you this.
it's blowing my mind because I don't know if it's something you could teach.
I had friends when I was a little kid, you know, everyone's like in class, like doing the burping, like the ABCs and stuff like that. I had friends trying to teach me, and I would sit there and swallow air, and I could never burp. I didn't know how to burp. Um, and as I got older, I still didn't. So this is so disgusting. So how I have to burp, like if I've had like a lot of carbonated to drink, this is so gross, and I'm so sorry for all the people watching this right now. I have to take my finger, I have to put it into my throat to make myself gag, but instead of like throwing up, it's just air that comes out, and that's all that it is, right? So obviously I'm ashamed of that, right? So imagine being 22 and you're at a bar and you've been drinking a lot and just how disgusting you feel because your gut's all swollen with things, but you can't burp. So I would sit there and be like, I'd have to like try to like find some place like private where I could do it, and half the time I couldn't. So you're just like, I can't drink anymore because I just feel horrible, right? Well, then as I got older, I remember Googling it and I was like, I can't burp. There's a whole subreddit support group for people that can't burp. They're called non-burpers, and I feel welcomed. And I hope a non-burper is listening in right now and they didn't realize it. You're welcomed in our group.
So
there you
like Roxanne said, and I'm going to alter Roxanne's comment because I think she's just being nice. She said, "Does Colton
That's what she said.
does Colton explode?" She said when he drinks root beer. I'm just going to go with beer,
Almost.
but so I think you just broke the podcast. I don't know what to do.
It's super embarrassing, but yeah, no,
It's not even
yeah,
embarrassing. It's just I don't even know. I've never even thought of it.
It's not. It's that's the thing. It's not something you think about until like if somebody was to tell you, and you're like, wait, what? So like people that I'm really close around, like my wife has seen me do it and stuff like that, where I'm just like, oh my god, I like normally I don't do it, but like if like I'm like I really have to burp, I'm just like I'm really sorry, and like I kind of like look away and I just kind of go like that, and then also it's just like
Was that what you were doing at my bachelor party?
I probably.
I'm joking. I don't mean to make fun of you. You know what it's like. To your point, this is me trying to relate to you. This is like when Marissa first told me she couldn't smell. Like my brain couldn't even process the thought that like someone just can't smell. Take this before COVID, right? Before COVID was a thing.
Right.
Someone just says they can't smell. You're like, okay, but you smell this, right? And it's like, I don't think you understand. I can't like. You're saying like you don't know how to burp. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That's mine. Broke the podcast. This will be the most listened episode right here. Millions.
See this makes me I'm ashamed to admit this, but I just burped like 5 minutes ago.
Oh no. And the sad part for me is like Grace will be running around like drinking on milk and stuff like that, and she'll look at me and she'll be like, and I'm like, show off. And I say that every time she does it. I go show off, and Meg just dies laughing.
I had something else that I completely forgot about, and I have much worse stuff to admit, and I know I do because mine was just I just was gonna say I'm ashamed to admit, but I rarely use my turn signal, but I also get fucking so pissed off when someone doesn't use theirs. It is such an unbalanced relationship I have with turn signals. I
just lost a little respect. I just lost a little respect for you.
Yeah, it's really bad, but I also get really mad at people who don't use theirs. So it is a completely unfair relationship I have. I had something worse, but I forgot it when I was doing all of this. When I was talking with our friend. But I think Robot, he has to admit something too.
I'm ashamed to admit this, but I'm still not registered to vote.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's problematic. You should someone send Robot a link to get registered.
There's so many ways to do it.
Honestly.
There's so many ways to do it. And depending on the year, then they would get blamed for anything. And they'd be like, oh, you're the reason Trump won, or oh, you're the reason Biden won.
Yep.
Oh, so then you're never the good guy. That's the worst. You're never the good guy. You're always getting blamed for everything, no matter what your political opinions actually are. Oh, that's the worst.
See, Robot, go vote. Oh, register. Sorry. Go register, Robot. I didn't know if Is that what they mean about needs an ID? Does a robot have an ID? I don't know. One other thing before we get into the actual episode, there's one more thing I want to bring up. We spoke with, his name is Slip Maker, SLIP, next word Maker, MAKER, on YouTube, and he sort of does these retrospective videos where he takes all the seasons from his show, and how would you describe it? He breaks it down, he explains it. Well, I actually, to be fair, I did not watch it, but Colton has watched a decent portion of it.
Yeah, I've almost finished it. I would say it is. I don't want to call it like a tribute video, because a tribute video is usually something like it's like 15 minutes long. I would say it's more like a series breakdown with a really good like take on stuff. Yeah, I would say it's a series overview. That's what I would call it, a series overview.
Mm-hmm.
Where he takes like the whole series and breaks it down by season. So he does season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, all the way through. So that's really cool. He has it cut up, and then he also gives kind of his, like his observations, which I think is kind of cool. Because some of the stuff he was like talking about, I was like, well, I don't necessarily like. There's like a one of the characters he doesn't really care for. I was like, well, I really like that character, but then he gives a reason he doesn't like it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, I can see that. Like, it was good. It was really good.
So again, his name is Slip Maker on YouTube, and he has I haven't watched it yet. Colton watched a good decent portion, and I can tell when something's like, yeah, it's okay, or yeah, it's not bad. Colton was like kind of emphatic about how good it is, and the comments I saw was just saying how good it is. But if you want a little Dexter retrospective, definitely watch the video he just put out during the week, because we plan to have him on an episode at some point this week. Because I want to talk to him about how it felt cramming. We do these episodes week by week. We just watch it and then we come back, we talk about it. But I imagine when you're making a video, you have to actually watch it and like clip it and everything. And I can just imagine how much work that is to do. But I imagine he has some interesting takes on, Dexter as a whole, and kind of, and another portion too of why I wanted to have him on was, as we're winding down towards the new season, it is a good idea to sort of like refresh. We all know the major parts, but just little stuff here and there that the Dexter show is a completely different animal as time went on. Mm-hmm. So it's probably a good watch for that, and just an interesting different take on it. So again, we plan to have him on within the next few weeks, and I'll link his Dexter episode in the show notes. Oh boy. With that being said, let's get into this week's actual episode. Let's see, what is it here? 8:06, a little reflection. Oh boy, I have my notes only until like Dexter, Zach, and then Elway and Deb.
That's pretty much all I have.
Right.
Like, yeah, I actually don't have a lot on this one.
Yeah, I think this episode works better in terms of like as a whole. You're okay.
I know.
Sorry, it's fine.
All right.
You good?
Yeah, we're good. She's so full of energy right now.
Oh man, it's late.
We went to the pool earlier. That was the thing. We went to the pool at like 5. We're like, oh, we can get it to the pool. She'll burn out all this energy. It'll be great. We get back in and she's like, ha ha, kangaroo, like jumping around. I'm like, oh no, it's the worst. She escalated.
Oh my god. She formed like Voltron.
Yeah. All right, so we're good. All right, let's go.
So as I was starting to say, this episode is one of these. I feel like it's one of these episodes a lot harder to talk about what happens, because it's a lot of setup, and especially we know what happens and whatnot. But I guess we could start out. We'll do the Deb stuff first, and then get into, I guess, the meat of the episode. But to start out, how the episode starts is there's a car crash, and we see an extremely highly suspicious Zach Hamilton, who, we met last episode. really comes into focus this episode. And Dexter sort of tails him, and we find out, and I had completely forgotten this. This just went over my head. I thought this happened another way, but Zach is being treated by Dr. Vogel. And it's sort of like right there is where you see like, oh, okay, I could see now where this season is heading towards. It is now where we're shifting the second half of the season towards. I guess let's table that to just do the Elway stuff, because there's something there. It's just, it's I don't even know what to call it. We have this case that Elway brings. Well, actually, oh my God, I have to do this before There we go. Elway brings a new case to Deb, and this time it's his family. Last episode we were dealing with Deb's family, and
I hate this story. I'm sorry.
You what?
I hate this story. I'm gonna get that out there right now. Right? I really like where they started with Elway, and I think that's what's irritating me so bad. This is gonna be where I shit talk the most about this episode right here.
So
just to get it out there.
To set it up, we are basically spying on Elway's sister's boyfriend. He thinks he's cheating on her, and he needs definitive proof to bring to her. So the stuff I have is probably very obvious, but I guess let me say this, and I'll let you do your thing. When Deb and Elway are setting their mics up and whatnot, there's definitely flirting going on.
Yeah.
Right. The comment I wanted to add is, and we don't do this a lot on the Dexter podcast. This Dexter podcast, I think Jennifer Carpenter looks amazing here. Like, I think she looks really good, just like how dressed up she is.
Really good.
And just thinking of like where she came from a few episodes earlier. Besides the obvious flirtation, and then how this sort of closes, and how this ties into Dexter's story at the end of the episode, go ahead with what you loved about this.
Okay, so, well, I will agree. No, Jennifer Carpenter, she's a very attractive girl, right? Woman. She's a very attractive woman. Whenever she gets dressed up, the few times we've seen her dressed up, she's gorgeous. She's a very beautiful woman. And I get that that's kind of what they're coming with that whole aspect of it, because it's always like she kind of is a tomboy, but then, I can do this, and like it's kind of, you want to say like the ugly duckling or whatever. I'm fine with that. That part does not annoy me. The Elway and her, like, this flirtation and stuff, I like. I really like that part of this storyline. What I don't like is how they're getting to it. It's super sloppy. That's what I don't really care for. One, okay, this is my sister, and I could give her stuff, but she wouldn't believe it. You can't just go and stake out this place by yourself and get a photo of him banging some chick in another hotel room by being in a hotel room across the way or something like that. You got photos of this other girl with this guy and stuff like that you were able to get. Are you not a good PI? You have to have your other employee doing this? That doesn't make any sense to me. Not only that, but Elway's hanging out in this lobby. Obviously, he's within camera range because he's got his camera and he's filming the situation. How does the boyfriend, his sister's boyfriend, not sit there and be like the bar, kind of turn around going, oh, look, I'm getting spied by the creeper over there. That's my sister's brother. Hey, Elway, what's up? Like, you're the worst PI ever at this point. He's got his stupid fedora on that I can't stand. He looks like a tourist in Miami at this point. It just irritates me so bad. And then the whole, he was putting his grubby hands on you, so that's why I punched him. Okay, well, it couldn't have been that it was maybe you feel bad for your sister. Like, I get it. You got this crush now on
Deb.
Let's do it. Like, that's fine. But it's bad. It annoys me. Those, 3 minutes of this episode almost ruined that entire episode for me. And that's what I hate. Like, I'll deal with Masuka's storyline with his daughter over this any day.
Oh, hell.
That's how much
Hell no. Hell no.
That's how much I dislike this. I really dislike this because it's so sloppy. It is. And his sister lives in Miami, which he's from Texas, and his family's in Texas, and that was why he moved to Miami. So why is his sister all of a sudden in Miami? Like, you're going back on your own storylines. Like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm nitpicking the F out of this. I'm sorry. It annoys me.
So different things will trigger different people, right? There's stuff I've probably been annoyed about, whatnot. If I'm being honest, the only area where I agree with you and I'm not even sure you exactly touched upon this. Well, it kind of how he is like the worst PI is only his firm looks like the way movies in the 2000s projected how 2020 would look. Like, this is not how the future looks, but we're in 2013 and this is how they're making the future look, which, okay, cool. But
fancy vitamin drinks.
Yeah. Like, and
okay, fair enough.
And we're in 2013, but when you take that, Elway has a camera that looks like it's from 2000, like the early 2000s. Like, you would at this point have the glasses with the camera in it, or something a little bit more subtle than him being like.
And he's got his like shirt down where he's showing his hairy
Wait,
chest,
why not
and
his phone? Why not his phone versus that?
But not only that, he's sitting there and he's got his mouth open where he's like, like, it's disgusting. Like, I don't know. That's
the only part the only part where I agree with you is just like, I can't believe they're supposed to be this super high-tech firm, or at least are projecting the image they are, and they have this old whatever. The rest of it, it just didn't bother me because Elway is not a focus yet. He's at this point, it's hard to talk about because we know where the story goes, but he sort of has this shine of like, we don't know how he's going to come into contact with Dexter, but we know he will at some point. So he's still like floating on the outskirts of the Dexter universe. When he comes in, I got very shocked when he comes in and punches the sister's boyfriend, and then I was like, oh, he can't even take the thought of like seeing Deb get like that. And it's like, wow, this just got super weird. And I forget if it was this episode or last episode, but it's just like, hey dude, I'll do whatever the fuck you want as long as you sign my paycheck. And it's like, yeah, that's the relationship lane they have to stay in. Does this story get advanced of Elway sort of liking Deb? I honestly don't remember.
I think this is the closest we get to
it.
I
don't remember it being like Elway being mad at Deb for like not liking him back. I don't remember that.
And I just watched it all the way through again a couple months ago, like about a month ago. I don't remember, man, but you don't mind remembering.
Yeah.
It's garbage. I don't think so. I think this is the closest we get to something like that. Which, like I said, I wish it would go further. That's what would make this worth it, I guess, to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's basically all I have on that storyline, because the part of where the Deb part comes in is sort of at the end of Dexter's storyline. So, I guess we could just circle back to that. So, on to Dexter, Zach, and Vogel. So we have another crime scene that Dexter shows up to, and Zach is there taking pictures in the least conspicuous way in the world. Sort of what makes, there's a lot of stuff about season 8 that's difficult to try and grasp. I think it's just, and then this is again where I say, like, why does he I don't know how to describe this. Why is it just like, let me put it this way. Watching the episode with Marissa, and they show Zach taking pictures, she just laughed. Because it's just so silly how he's just like, well, there's the guy Dexter's interested in. Like, you know what I mean? It's like so not subtle. And they're sort of just
you
like,
know what?
Uh-huh.
I just know, Marissa, why is she not on this podcast right now? Because she just made a really good point. Because now I'm sitting here like, why hasn't he been in the background of all these other murders the last 6 seasons? All of a sudden now he gets a knack for it?
I'm trying to get Marissa on. The problem is the time we record.
That's a great point. I never even occurred to me. Why has he not been photographing? It's not like he's 18. He just turned 18 and he's got his first camera. He's obviously been doing this for a while. Why is he, you know what? It'd be really funny if we go back. They did Breaking Bad. Go back and look at like season 5. He's in the background. Watch it. Oh, that'd be amazing. Sorry, I'm sorry. I like just hijacked. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine because like Jen just said, like towards the end, they act like the viewers are so dumb that they have to be led to it. And the voiceover, it's like what I was saying. The end of that episode, Dexter looks at Deb and he just says Deb. He goes Deb, and it's like, oh my god, the voiceover. The voiceover was great at one point and whatnot. And I think that's why when Marissa watches this with me, she laughs because some stuff is just so painfully obvious that, like, yes, you don't have to spoon feed us everything. We are smart enough to grasp some of it. You don't have to leave everything out, but like, it's just so whatever. But the whole point of bringing this up is,
Sorry.
it's just really funny how not subtle they are with Zach.
No, he's got this big ass like the lens and everything.
Yeah. And he's like, you could tell he's getting like turned on. He's excited, rather. He's not getting turned on. He's getting very excited at the idea of taking pictures, at seeing blood, where it's like this is like the way a puppy, when you're going to give him a treat, acts. Not like a grown human who's trying to not get caught as a serial killer. like there's such a divide of like how we can make the two act whatever. More so, if we don't do this, but if we were choosing a theme per episode, something that I found, I don't even know why this happens particularly so much, and I'm sure you picked up on it, and if not, cool, because it makes for a better discussion. A lot of callbacks to season 1 and 2. You picked up on that?
I actually haven't. No.
So there's going to be a point where Dexter directly references from season 2, but the way he has, I don't know how to describe this, but the sort of the way the blood is spattered and he has the yarn. Mm-hmm. To me, that was a callback to season 1 where I don't really think we saw it since then. He did it like the first few crime scenes.
I did notice that, and I was thinking it had been a while, but I wasn't really thinking like that
so
hard,
so
I guess,
so
on
maybe
it.
it's not a reference. It's just I have yet to see Dexter do that. But I think later in the episode when we have other callbacks, I'm sort of like, wow, they are referencing a lot of earlier stuff.
Okay.
Even the way Dexter is quote unquote stalking Zach, and then where he has the realization as he kills someone on the table. Just we'll talk about it as we get there.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, this is the other thing I had to say. Like the way he breaks down the crime scene, I think we've like we were talking whether that was on air or off air, just sort of how much the show changes. Where you forget like Dexter used to come up and be like the ghost whisperer and describe how the entire scene happened. And like I said, we haven't seen that with the yarn and showing where all the, I don't know. I just thought it was some of season 1.
Okay.
Dexter is on a date with Cassie. Mm-hmm. And I legit I'm going to read you my notes word for word. So as I'm doing this, as I do my notes, I just type stuff and it's just like while we're talking, I'm like, all right, do I want to bring this up or I got to word this better? But I want to read this word for verbatim to you. Dexter is on a date with Cassie. Peanut butter Nutella fries. I feel like you have something to say about this.
You know what? I when I was doing my notes on this, I did notice that, and I was just like, the only thing I'm gonna say on it, and it's not a bad. I'm not nitpicking the show. Is this was the time period when they were doing stupid shit like that with food, like there was like Nutella everything. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, because 2 years before that, it was bacon. People were just going nuts over bacon, and that was the same time period as the mustache. This stuff. People were just obsessed with it.
I forgot about that.
It was this, bacon, and then, yes, slowly but surely, it was Nutella everything. And this is right around the time. You're 1,000% right. Yes. So you don't actually have anything. You've never had this.
No. I've had some weird, like, I do remember, like, that time period and having something weird one time. But I think it was like this is so gross to think. I want to say it was like a Nutella hamburger. Or something like that. Like the Nutella was mixed with like something. Yeah. No, I've never had Nutella peanut butter French fries. No, no.
Okay.
Whatever I had that was Nutella, and it was, or was it a Nutella grilled cheese? Whatever it was savory with Nutella. It did not work. It did not work at all.
I
was
recently
not
had
fan.
a donut that was like a Nutella donut where there was Nutella in it, and there was so much Nutella in it that it knocked out my hunger for the day. Like it just sidelined me because there was so much Nutella in it. You know what I mean? Like if you eat
Nutella's like maple. You can't overdo it.
like I did overdo it without like me and Marissa. We got like one of these like fancy donut places, and we had like a bite of just too much Nutella, and like the rest of the day we just felt like shit. So basically, showing this date with Cassie is how Dexter is. And again, this is where I'm reading. If I read my notes and then like sort of what the episode ends is, I just have here how not meant for dating Dexter is, like just showing how dull he is, and then afterwards I kind of realize it's a perfect entry for Hannah because Dexter just can't, sort of like he got the taste of like I can be who I am and I could actually be attracted and I could reveal myself.
Well,
and then here he is with a pretty woman, Cassie, and he's just dull as fuck. What do you do in your boat? Fucking just make something up, but he clearly can't. And I think that's also from season 1 with Dexter and Rita, where he's just like, he's as dull as shit. But you have a problem with something.
yeah, well, but he clearly showed at the beginning of this season he's out fucking soccer-wise.
Well, they play fast and loose with this whole thing of how much Dexter likes sex. Because remember, he has sex just to play the role.
So are those just, which is fine, and that's fine if the show's doing this. This is fine. Is he having just like those are not meant to be dating? It's literally like, hey, I just need to get my rocks off, and that's it. Like these are one night stands.
That's what
all
I'm
it is?
thinking. Again, it was a
Okay.
it was a 5-second scene, but if I had to think of where that is, it's just sort of like some woman came on to Dexter. Yeah, I'm all about it. I think what this episode is more showing is that like Dexter has a really tough time with his
for long
fake...
term, try to develop a long term relationship.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with them trying to do that. I just was like, well, but he's clearly had sex, so
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, Cassie and Dexter, they were not even anywhere near sex. It was just showing.
No,
Because she's like, hey, what do you do for fun? And I used to hate this on dates, but, he's like, I go bowling. like, and she's like, what do you do in your boat? And he can't even, like, there's like a million things to say.
go fishing.
Yeah, like, why not, like, and Dexter's just so capped at whatever, where it's just like, yeah, you could see why.
'Cause it's a fishing boat. It's a fishing boat.
But you could see why Cassie would be like, all right, fuck this. Like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, why would I even bother? I don't even know what she found him. I guess just found him attractive besides that. Because remember, Jamie keeps saying, like, oh, Dexter, Cassie's really into you.
Wingman, you got Wingman Jamie. She's probably churching him up like, no, he's a great guy. He owns all of this stuff. He's very smart with money. He has a kid, so he's responsible.
Right.
He's super intelligent. I mean, she's gonna like church him up. And on paper, Dexter sounds like a great guy.
Yeah.
On
But I think
paper,
once you're like, yeah.
On paper, yeah. But then like all of a sudden you're like talking to him, and it's just like, oh. We're gonna need booze for this, I think is what she said.
Yeah. Well, she does. But I think more so it's a perfect. This is why I was like, wow, this is really painful to watch. And then once you tie in the Hannah coming in at the end, it's like, oh, it makes sense now. Like why they're showing Dexter painfully on a date. Dexter, this is another point where Marissa just laughed, because Dexter heads to Zach's place and finds out. As he said a few times over, that Zach's obsessed with blood. And anytime he's obsessed with blood, just like I am. Going back to callbacks from season 1 and 2, Dexter and Deb have dinner. And there's even a point where Dexter's making a steak, and they go to eat it. And I'm going to play the actual clip. This is actually the clip from season 2 and the clip from this season. I'm not sure which is which, but you'll be able to hear it.
Okay.
Just make it louder. Okay.
Brother, this is worth living for. Right?
Not exactly worth living for.
What?
You said that once when you tasted one of my steaks, that it was worth living for. For some reason, I've always remembered that.
So I mean, that's where they're going.
That's kind of cool.
That's where they're going word for word. But
yeah,
to set it up, this is right after. It's what I think it's probably one of the funniest scenes in Dexter history, where he's about to reveal himself to Deb as the Bay Harbor Butcher. And they do that little montage where he's like, "Deb, I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher," and she starts crying. Once she shoots him in the head, and she goes, "Get on the ground, motherfucker!" But they have this chat, and it's basically Dexter's like, "Hey, how did you survive when you were going through all that stuff with the ice truck killer?" She's like, I just put, she eventually says, "You just decide who you want to be, and you stick with that." And he's like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." She takes the bite of the steak, and she's like, "Yes, worth living for," because Dexter's thinking of turning himself in. And right before this actual scene, when they go to sit down, they zoom in on season 1, a picture of season 1 Dexter and Deb. Like, as they go from the kitchen to the living room, they do like an actual, like they stay.
I didn't notice
They
that.
linger on a photo for just a few seconds more than whatnot.
Okay.
So again, it's not necessarily like I'm making it up as much as they literally repeat it word for word. Like I just showed, like, Deb says,
Yeah.
worth dying for. This is another thing I had here. I said, I literally have here Colton's take. Dexter is putting A1 sauce on his steak during the scene.
Okay, so since we talked about it, I did finally get some A1 sauce. I finally got some, and I made a steak because I'm very anti-sauce on steak. I believe that if a steak is done properly, you just eat the steak and that's it. I did get some A1 sauce. Not bad. Not my favorite. I don't really care for it. Like, I mean, I say that it's not bad. A rare occasion, maybe to like something different, I'll use it. But yeah, I would still rather eat a steak plain. I think it's
Yeah, I'm with you, but you just came up with an amazing bad name. The first thing you said was you are anti-sauce. That's a great bad name.
Anti-sauce. That is a good band name.
Yeah, like, damn, that's awesome.
Trademark that one. All right.
Guys, we'll be right back as we go and trademark anti-sauce. I think Jen is closer to using A1 sauce. She's saying that some steaks need a little. I haven't had A1 sauce, and I don't even know why why we got brought up before, but it's been quite some time since I had steak sauce.
Yeah, I could remember. When I was growing up, my dad always had it in the house, and so when we would have steaks, you always have A1 on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always under the impression that's what you were supposed to do. And then as I got older and I learned about different ways of cooking steaks, cuts of steaks, things like that, I was like, oh, okay, I got away from it. And I was like, no, you're not. I went to that mindset where it's like, if your steak's done right, you never need a sauce ever. But got some again. Like literally, I think like 2 months ago, I got some because I've been meaning to. And yeah, it's not bad.
So kind of Jen and Roxanne are saying like bad steaks need A1 sauce. I just want to clarify. I don't eat steak enough to like warrant having A1 sauce. Like I'm just not a big steak guy.
Yes, I eat a lot of steak.
Yeah, I just don't. So it's like I'm rarely in that position. To by the way, this podcast is brought to you by A1.
I was gonna say by the Steak Association of Texas or something like that.
The SAT.
Yes, send them over.
SAT. Dexter and Quinn are tailing Zach after Quinn fails to get promoted to lieutenant. There's more drama where Quinn gets passed over, and again, we've spoke about this. They just don't make us care enough about this part.
No.
But they find the girl that Zach is looking for, and it's this Sofia Fuentes, who we don't know how exactly she ties into Zach's life, but we'll find out as the episode goes on. But Dexter finds this USB with photos of Norma Rivera, who we saw a few episodes earlier. If Zach is... I don't know if I want to get like nitpicky into it, but you're talking about this dude took photos, saves photos, and he's in the photos. This is also where the first time it hit me, and we didn't talk about, we usually try to do this at the beginning of the episode, but the episode title, A Little Reflection. It's kind of where I also sort of thought of like this is sort of a reset button for the season.
Oh.
Kind of like reflecting on everything that's happened, but that's like a
Yeah.
literal sense. But some of it made me think here, like Zach is literally he's a little reflection in the photo. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about when he sees himself?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
'cause
not,
it's-
that's
it's
not what the
photo of
episode.
himself-
That's not what the episode's about. But I thought it was like, oh, look at that! It's a little reflection.
That's a good
It's a little
catch.
reflection.
Yeah.
I don't want to take credit for it because I feel like I'm not smart enough for that. Like I just saw it. You know what I mean? It would just be like Colton's background is Elway. Oh my God, Colton Elway, John Elway.
Oh,
But yes, I think overall a little reflection. Just an overall, we're sort of reflecting on where we've been these past, where we're about to go, and we'll talk about it. So Dexter, so something we sort of kind of glossed over was just that like Vogel's like, yeah, I'm working with Zach and don't kill him. So Dexter's like,
Right.
all right, I'm gonna go find proof, bring it right to you, and
then I'll kill him.
then I'll kill him. So he takes him to Vogel, and oh man, a lot of this stuff is I don't want to open the box, so where we ramble on about it, but I feel like I need to bring it up. I just don't want to discuss it at length because so much of this stuff doesn't matter, and I don't mean to cut you off like, hey, don't talk about this, but Vogel just kind of comes up with this idea of we can teach Zach the code. And that's kind of
Right.
what the episode hinges on and why Dexter
Yeah.
will let Zach go later. I think Dexter was unique because they got him at the age they got him, and they had Harry as a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thought or like any take on Vogel wanting to do this to Did they say he's 16 or 15 or 21?
Well, he's got to be at least 18. At the bare minimum, he's got to be 18.
Right.
I feel like because he's, well, I say that because he's got a place. I mean, he's rich.
And he's
so
driving.
Yeah, I would say at the bare minimum, he's 18. I would say that I don't think they've said. If I'm under the impression he's a minimum of like 21, 22.
Let's just say
maybe,
he's
like,
21. I just think this is.
just because well, it's later on. He's at a bar and he has a drink. So
Let's make it 21. It ain't that important
Yeah.
either way.
No.
But I don't know. It just sort of. I know what the Dexter show was doing here or trying to do. It just seems like. What show is that? Is that Home Improvement? It's just sort of like, like what?
Yeah, well, okay, so I see what they're doing here, and especially knowing how this is going to develop later, I really get what they're going with. Okay, I'm going to go kind of a half-seas on this, where I don't like that they're doing this with the last season. This could have been a very good thing that was done last season, or maybe the season before, and this is like a long-term arch that would have been great. Okay. There's my nitpick on that one, or that's my like complaint about that one. It's out there. I like that they're still doing it though, because they haven't brought this up before about, well, we could have another person like you, but he's already maybe a little bit different. He's had a different upbringing. You were beta. This is going to be the alpha. Like you were test subject B. This will be test subject A. We can improve on what's been done. You're obviously successful. It can only get better. I kind of like that idea. Like I'm not against it. A lot of people apparently don't like the Zach character. I kind of like his character. And as it goes along, I'll talk more about that in later episodes. But I do. I actually kind of like his character, and I kind of like where this is going. It's just executed wrong. That's my only complaint on it.
So when we started this season talking about whatever it is, I think that's kind of what we both said is good ideas executed poorly.
Yeah.
And that's where I can agree with you, and why I'm just sort of like, you got 6 episodes left to tell the Dexter story you want to tell. Now
We're gonna make him the perfect killer in 6 episodes, like
yeah, and now we're gonna
insert.
insert this, and more to your point, and they do it all in this episode. We never even knew Dexter wanted to do that, but
That's actually a good point.
God, I'm sorry. If I would have paused the episode at the end of episode 5 and would have been like, do you think Dexter at all wants to teach the code to someone else? You would have been like, no, of course he doesn't. But like an episode later, and there's stuff that happens in the episode that,
This is over the what? Course of 2 days?
if that, right? So that's where it's like, that's where we come down to lazy writing and lazy execution, where you could have started the season out like that, where he doesn't have Deb anymore, so he doesn't think he's much worth it in this work. He doesn't think he's worth it anymore. To make himself feel like he's a little bit more worth it, he could have a protege that he could teach stuff to and whatnot.
Right.
But it's just so odd. We have 6 episodes left, and all of a sudden Dexter wants to be a teacher. It just doesn't, and I know the show supports why, it tries to give us reasons why. It's just there's not enough meat there to grab onto,
Mm-hmm. Well, it's about to get worse. So. So sorry.
Jamie's, this is one of my funniest things. Jamie's birthday party on the beach, and I didn't even realize we get the introduction of Oliver here, who we're just going to put him to the side, but I just didn't realize he gets, oh, and hear me out. This is where I may be reaching. Another callback to season 1, where you introduce the villain, and you find out a few episodes later he was there.
I was just now after you brought that up.
Oh, really?
When you were talking about it earlier, I was like, he's got some good points. I was like Oliver, when he gets introduced like that, I was like, it's just like the Ice Trail Killer. I was just thinking.
I thought this one.
Really good.
I thought this one was a reach because it's like, well, they kind of all. But yeah, I again, I'm reading my notes here verbatim.
Beer with the moose on it. Sorry.
So let me get I can't believe how long we've been able to stretch this episode. Really quick, when you were in your single days, were you a go to the bar and try to pick up women person?
No.
Me neither. And my friends were. So every time we'd go out and we were all single, they would all go up and talk to women. I just wasn't able to. I'm just not like, if you at all think I'm a outgoing, personable person because I do the podcast, like I'm really not. I don't like talking to people in public. Like this is like, I wouldn't even say this is a persona, but like I'm just, and you know what? God, I've been married for 2 years now, been with Marissa for 4 years. So it's like, I'm a completely different person. I bring all of this up to say, this conversation Dexter and Cassie have is how, when I tried to pick up women, how it went. I want to play this. It made me laugh hysterical.
Hey.
Dexter, hi. How are you?
Great. You?
Great. Nice party, huh?
Yeah. The beach.
Dude, that was me just at the bar, like, alcohol. Coors Light.
The lights are cool in here, huh?
Yes. That's what I would end up doing. Like, wow. Drinks on a coaster.
I'm not gonna lie, that's basically me.
Dude, I want to play it one more time. I just love the way Dexter emphasized. He's like, so, the beach.
Dexter, hi. How are you?
Great. You?
Great. Nice party, huh?
Yeah. The beach.
Oh my god.
Oh, God. I always love that. Here is where you were talking about it in our first episode, and I did not know what you were talking about. We have this little thread about Harrison and the TV remote, about, he's lying and Dexter also lies, so whatnot. But he brings the stuffed animal from episode 1 that I did not even realize that, wow, that's what Colton was talking about. I had no idea. So
it's a nice little thing. It's a nice little.
It's a parent
kind of
moment.
throwback.
It's a parent moment, and I think it's sort of what fuels Dexter being like, I can't teach Harrison how to be a killer, so maybe it's not a bad idea to teach Zach. But to set some of that up, Dexter goes to hunt for Zach, finds out he's going to the yacht club where she works. That's Sofia Fuentes, and we find that Sofia's
parents' own.
Yes, and that Sofia's his father's mistress after Norma Rivera. For a show that sometimes lacks actual intensity of these scenes, like when Quinn shows up, and we're talking about this is supposed to be a guy who's just supposed to be, what was he supposed to be, sergeant?
Yeah, he just got declined sergeant. Yeah.
This guy's supposed to be sergeant, and Dexter has a passed out Zach behind him. He goes, I know what you're up to. Not knowing that there's a body next to him, but whatever. I thought the scene was intense because they kind of show Zach almost about to get to his father, and that's when Dexter gets him. I think this will... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but it also the reason I like that too as well. It shows, one, Dexter can be caught off guard, and two, it shows how good of a cop Quinn can be. Like, Quinn can actually be kind of a good cop, because he was like, I just saw you. Like, Dexter didn't know he got spotted. Like, it's kind. I think it's kind of good on both accounts. Like, it shows Dexter can slip on occasion because he didn't know he was getting caught. He literally just about got caught by Quinn, and he literally almost just got caught by Quinn. Like, Quinn's a good cop. Like, he's got his issues, obviously, but
so what's interesting? What you saying that what brings it up for me? Dexter and Quinn are in the car, and Quinn says something to the effect of like, and everyone's got their shady shit, and he kind of like goes to Dexter like, you know what I mean? Like, I think he's and it made me rethink, and I would have to go back, or if someone feels like telling me what I thought. At the end of season 5, did Quinn just sort of let it be known that Dexter is a killer and just sort of let him... Because Dexter gets Quinn off the hook.
Listen to Slipmaker's video. He does a very good spot on that, actually.
Okay, and I plan to listen to it.
Yeah.
I plan to watch it. So, does he reference this scene, or he just talks about season 5?
No... what you're about to talk about, he references the whole it. Just watch it. Just watch it. That's all I can say. Yeah.
And basically, the point I'm getting to is Quinn brings up very off the cuff, just sort of like everyone has their. He says something to the effect of everyone has their shady shit or their shit in the past, and he kind of goes to Dexter like, you know what I'm talking about. I feel like, and why we have so much dumb stuff on the show sometimes, why this is not more of a story. Because the first episode Quinn shows up, it's right after season 2, Bay Harbor Butcher, and he's a perfect foil for Dexter because he's supposed to be no nonsense. I just wish, we have 6 episodes left. No one knows who Dexter is besides Deb and Vogel. I wish we had more of that, where Quinn kind of held it over him all the seasons. But I feel like I shouldn't say much more because I'm gonna watch this video and it's gonna sort of impact my opinion on all of this. Dexter gets Zach on his table, and once again, repeating a lot of season 1 Dexter stuff that Zach's saying, I have to kill, I can't help it. It just builds up inside of me. I meant to clip this, but I think Zach says, feels like a huge weight is lifted off my chest. And I feel like Miguel Prado says the same thing, but I'd have to go back and clip it. Dexter says to Zach, you've never had a Harry to sort of guide you through this. where this kid's going to end up caught because he's terrible. He has pictures of his kills with him inside it. And he just sort of, we don't see him letting him go, but we get it in the next episode. We get it in the next scene with Deb that he let him go.
Well,
what?
I thought maybe I'm wrong. I thought I remember seeing him cut the plastic away.
He does. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I guess what I meant is we don't see Zach get up and Dexter be like, okay, so now you're going to be in training.
Got it.
He just sort of,
Got it.
you know, whatnot. And I think this is another one of those things where we can curb this Dexter training Zach for the next episodes or so, because where it actually happens. I think we kind of talked about the idea of this and just that we are okay with the idea, just bad execution and how it's set up.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, well, we'll talk about it more as we get on. This is also where our closing scene of Dexter and Deb having sort of morning breakfast, and they kind of both talk about how they are not meant to date. I think Deb even says so much as,
Maybe the Morgans just aren't meant for relationships.
Yeah, maybe not.
Oh my God! I wonder what's gonna happen.
oh no, I wonder what character from last season that we thought was gone is not going to come back right now. So yes, we had the Dexter setup of that he's not really meant to date. Deb can't date either. As they are eating, hanging out, their breakfast, Deb passes out first, and then Dexter, and in comes Hannah, and that's where your episode ends. Dexter, remember me?
That's so dumb.
Well,
I hated this when I remember watching this live, and I was like, no.
hold on.
I
Before
was
we get
so
there,
mad. Okay.
I remember being so pissed about this because much to the point, as we talked about the New Blood Dexter news, as soon as episode 805 ended, they show the clips for next week, 806. And they show Hannah. So now you're watching 806.
Oh, did they?
Just waiting for Hannah to come back. And you're like, well, where is she going to come back? You look at the clock. You got 2 minutes left in the episode. Well, I guess she's coming back now. That's where
I guess I got lucky and I didn't see that. Maybe that's my only guess.
I also maybe
because I was watching the season live. This I was watching live. I do remember that.
Maybe you just went out like you just. You know what? I think there was also an intent that we knew she was coming back, because we see her escape jail and get out and leave an orchid at Dexter's place at the end of season 7. So we kind of had some inkling.
Yeah.
Why do you have a problem with the way she comes back, or just her coming back in general?
I have I have a problem with her coming back alone because this is the only character that was kind of a villain or whatever that like crossed seasons. You know, we had what's her name, Lila from season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Never, she could possibly have been, but obviously she wasn't. We had Kristen Dunst, didn't do it.
Kristen Dunst. Oh, Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles, sorry, not Kristen Dunst. Julia Stiles. Yeah. Didn't do it. Like I don't know. It was like, really, this is the character. This is the character we're gonna do. Like, I don't know. I don't like the Hannah character, one, but two, just even the way that they did it. It's literally like this is filmed at like they were just like talking with like Michael C. Hall and was like, hey, at the last minute, let's film this, because it's like you can see her in the background. Like when they're talking, like when they start passing out, you see Hannah in the background. If you're looking, she's kind of looking around the corner, like, is my cue up? Am I supposed to go?
I think once they
shitty.
I think once they start passing out, she kind of shows up like a Batman villain, and just sort of turns the corner.
I don't know. It's because she doesn't just come. I don't know. It's the way she does it, because you see her look at one point and then go back. I don't know. I really think they filmed it real shitty. I think it was a really bad cut.
I think we have to keep in mind, and I see a lot of this when you talk about Dexter New Blood. People are like, why is he what does he have to hide? He's not in Miami anymore. People don't know who he is. He faked his death. Like, you have a person who completely lied about him being dead, and a lot of people out there think he's dead. Here, part of why I think some of this happens, and I don't know, I would have to sit there and think about what other way would I film this. You got to understand, she escaped jail. However she escaped
Right.
prison, she got out. So
But she's no, because of what we're about to see in a couple episodes, she's going to bars and hanging out with people.
yes,
So,
and that's where we can get really.
this podcast's gonna go on for another hour. Sorry.
No.
everybody.
I'm talking about specifically how you bring Hannah back into the fold. I don't know
I'm
how
fine
much
with them
better
bring-
ways there is to do it.
I'm fine with them bringing back the way they did it. That I don't.
Oh,
I
you're
don't
just saying it
care.
was
I would've
filmed.
It was filmed really bad. I'm telling you, go back and rewatch it, just that little bit, and just rewatch it and really watch in the background, knowing where she's about to come back from. You will see her back there. It was filmed really bad. And okay, they're having breakfast. Like I said, I don't mind the way that they did it. But again, this is my issue with Hannah's character. This is nothing with the actress. This is just with the character. They are passing out, which means she's been in their house, poisoned their drinks without them knowing it, and then gotten to the back and waiting for him to pass out. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you invisible? Like, how are you able to go through and do all of this? Like I'm sorry. Like, I'm nitpicking it. I get I am. I don't,
I'm gonna.
But to be fair, I don't know how I would film it different. I don't know how I would have changed it.
So I can assure you, because I'm watching this scene as you're talking. As soon as Deb keels over, and Dexter stands up to go to Deb, and he kind of falls, that's when Hannah comes out. But she is just waiting there, sort of like waiting for her cue.
That's what I'm saying. She's just waiting. She's waiting for the director and enter scene.
Go. Yeah. They do a shot from this Dexter side where Hannah would be standing earlier in the scene, and she's not there. But once Deb starts to get really tired, and that's when she comes out. Regardless.
Yeah.
And that's the way our episode
I'm
ends.
definitely nitpicking on it, and I'm sorry. So.
And maybe we could talk about this probably for like 10 more minutes. And Masuka finds out that his daughter may be hitting him up for money, but she's not.
And done.
We will talk to you next week as we discuss episode 807, Dress Code. We'll talk to you next week, everyone.
All right, sounds good. That's right. You have more to say on it than we do, Gracie. That's right.
Oh, God. Oh, hello, Adriana. How are you? Colton, my friend Adriana, just finished watching the show as a whole.
Oh.
And she was like, yeah, some episodes good, some episodes this, I like it, whatnot. And then when she watched the finale, she was just like, what the fuck was that? Dude, I don't even know. We have to figure out how we're going to tackle the finale, because holy fuck.
Are we going to meet like halfway? Like we both fly to like Nebraska and we film it there?
What are we at here? This is 6 we just did, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. October 18th. Fly to Oklahoma. Yeah, let's go to Oklahoma. Hey, what did I just hear about Oklahoma has the most of? Oh, I don't want to bring that up. No, I think they have. I don't. It's such a shitty thing to say. It has nothing to do with the state or anything.
I mean, I'm originally from Oklahoma, so I've brought that up before.
Well,
I've got
Oklahoma.
my family in Enid.
Oklahoma. No, it's not meth heads. Oklahoma has the most military deaths per capita, like per state. Like for how many people they have, the most military members. Oklahoma has the highest percentage. I only know that because I saw something because of obviously what happened last week with the whatever. And I knew Oklahoma was number one in something. I just didn't know.
Is it like on the job desk or like
No, just active military deaths. Is all. But now that that's really depressing, would you guys like to talk about cancer
That's sad. Thanks for.
or homelessness? Come on, someone save me here. Talk about something besides the white.
So Masuka's shirt.
Do you watch The White Lotus?
No. Oh, we watched. Oh, I should have brought this up on the thing. We started watching because of podcasting. In the 5 people that are listening in right now, including us 2 and my wife. So, we started watching on Hulu. There is this amazing show. I am not even lying. It's called Only Murderers Live Here, and it is so good. It is so good. It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and
I saw that. I saw that. I mean, I didn't see it, but who's the girl?
Oh my god, what's her name? Selena Gomez.
Yes,
and
yes.
Selena Gomez. And so they the premise of it is like the 2 Steve Martin and all 3 of them, they listen to this podcast called It's Not Okay in Oklahoma, right? And which play because Oklahoma okay, right? So yeah, they listen to this podcast. They're obsessed with it. Well, there's this suicide that happens in the apartment complex they live in, and they're like, there's no way this is really a suicide, right? And so they're like, let's go find the body. It's like they go and like they see the body, and they're like, well, this is strange. And the cop like comes out that's like detective, and she was like, what are y'all doing in here and stuff like that. And Steve Martin, she's like, well, did you do this? She's like, oh my fucking god, you are a true crime listening podcast person, aren't you? She's like, all of y'all, every fucking time I'm just trying to do my job. Yes, I have seen Insidious. Yes, I have listened to it.
That's funny.
They are Steve Martin alone is one of my favorite comedians of all time. The dude's a genius. Martin Short's amazing. Selena Gomez is amazing. There's, I think, only 3 episodes right now. We watched all 3 like back to back. It is so good. I cannot recommend that enough. So if you have Hulu, watch it. So good.
We're somewhat a free agent in terms of looking for a show. Is it fair to say post season 10 or so of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it just gets really hit or miss and more misses than hits?
Mm-hmm.
We stopped watching. We're like, this is not funny anymore. There are funny moments, but they're like not good.
The last good season of Sunny is Fat Mac.
We're like 2 seasons after that.
Yeah, no, Fat Mac's the last funny season because they got they started experimenting. And
which I like.
Yeah, like the idea behind Fat Mac, if you don't know, I don't know if you know the reasoning behind that. They did it.
No.
It's actually there was actually a really funny reason. The a guy Rob what's his name? Rob
McElhenney.
Yeah, so he's one of the main writers. His biggest complaint on TV shows is how people get more attractive as the show gets more and more popular. And
so he wanted to get fatter.
Yeah, so he's married to D, right, in real life. And he told D, he was like, I want to get fat as shit. He was like, I want to get so fat. He was like, and I'll write it into the character. He's like, because nobody ever gets fat.
That's
nobody
really
ever
funny.
Like gets disgusting. And so she was like, no, but you're really into health. And he's like, no. He's like, I'm getting fat as shit for the show. So he put on all that weight just to make a point, which was it's funny,
right?
But then it's just I don't know. They're getting too weird. Like, but they're experimental. That's them.
I just watched the first episode of season 13 with Mindy Kaling, and he's super cut. He's fucking got muscles. And it was really funny because he's like, all right, and then part of the plan is I'll do this. And everyone's just like, and he's like, well, why did I get all my muscles if we weren't going to take advantage? And he's like, no one told you to fucking get muscles.
Yeah.
But me and Marissa, we loved almost every episode. And then we were just like, this is just not funny anymore. It's not even like entertaining because the show is not heavy story. It's just stupid idea and everyone goes along. But yeah, there's been quite like, we'll just read an episode description and we'll be like, nah, like we're not even going to fuck with it.
They're filming their new one right now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see.
I'll be right back. I have to turn on my AC, so give me a second.
Okay. I saw Ginger did Harry Potter. That's funny. Yeah, Jen. I'd say if it's on the list, if that's it, definitely recommend doing that for sure. That was really good. So far, at least. I mean, I'm only 3 episodes in, but I can't recommend it enough right now.
Outer Banks.
I
What's
haven't
that?
seen Outer Banks. I feel like I remember Meg talking. Meg, have you watched Outer Banks? Oh yeah, Meg's watched a couple episodes of Outer Banks. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Teenagers.
I definitely need a new show to watch. I've been
We
going
watched.
through Star Trek Voyager again.
I am watching Batman the animated series because I have nothing to watch. I don't even have time to watch anything. But when I do, it's fucking Dexter or I've been watching Batman to go to bed. I'm
Yeah, so I've been watching
clearly I
Star
need a
Trek
show.
to go to bed.
Batman the animated series is awesome, but
I need to watch. I remember watching that as a kid and just like how deep it was.
dude, it's so good.
For, like-
When you pick up some episodes are like completely hit or miss, but the episodes that are like kind of meant for adults but they could like pass it along as a kid's version, they're really good. Especially if you love Batman and all that shit.
Because those would air the same. It would be like Batman one episode, and then it would be Superman.
Right.
Like it was like they would air back to back. Because I was big into Superman. Like that was the show I really liked. But I would also watch the Batman ones, and I just remember like, man, these are like really good.
Yeah. I got all my shit downloaded. I have all my shit downloaded. Perfect. I'm shocked we got an hour out of that, man. I was not thinking. To be fair, we got like 20 some odd minutes. Jen just brought up Yellowstone. I feel like you were a big Yellowstone guy.
Huge Yellowstone fan. Cannot wait for the new season. Yellowstone is amazing. Which, okay, little funny ditty I learned about Yellowstone if you watch it, Jen. So there's one of the main characters in Yellowstone is this guy named Rip, okay? Blew my mind when Meg told me this and I found out about it. Victor, have you ever seen Dazed and Confused?
No.
Okay. Well, then this isn't going to blow your mind. Well, Jen, if you've ever seen Dazed and Confused, there is a character in Dazed and Confused. He wears like a baseball shirt. He's one of the jocks that like hazes the other people and stuff like that. And that is him. It blew my mind.
Dude.
I'm like,
No.
I'm straight 100%. Rip's a fine ass man.
No. Did you see her comment? I'd climb him like a tree. That's fucking hilarious. I have no problem admitting when a man's good looking. I think Ben Affleck is fucking one of the best looking men on earth. That's just so funny. I just seeing that. I'd climb him like a tree.
He's a big dude. He's a big rip dude.
What's his name?
I'm like,
Who
I
is
don't know
this?
what his real name is. His name in his character in the show is Rip, and I just know like when I watched him, I was just like, that's a man. Like,
Did you,
I need to try to be like this guy.
Did you know that he's that Jen just said that season's premiering the same day as Dexter?
I did not know that.
Oh,
Ooh.
is this the guy from fucking Wedding Crashers? No,
I don't know if he's on Wedding Crashers or not. Yellowstone's good. Yellowstone is really good.
I mean, this guy is definitely good looking. Cole Hauser.
I recommend Yellow. Do what?
Cole Hauser is his name.
Oh.
Yes, it's his thing's credit. It's his Dazed and Confused. Yep. Oh, I thought it was the guy from.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, you were telling me about it. You were watching it. The Breakup. That's where I remember him from.
It'll get you hooked. Like, see, if you're not in episode 1, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Like, if you don't like it, episode 1, don't even bother.
We watched The White Lotus, and it was great because it was only 6 episodes. That is one quirky ass funny show.
Okay.
And I
feel
loved
like
I
I've
loved that
heard
it's 6
of
episodes.
that.
It like just finished like a week ago, and so people were like talking about it. But it's great because it's 6 episodes, and it's like everyone on a honeymoon in Hawaii. HBO just does so much quality shit. But
Okay, I think that's what I've seen it on.
the main guy is
An ad or something like that.
yeah, it's you know an HBO thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's about it. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get that guy on for one of these episodes. Probably next week will be too soon.
I'm saying if we can get him on in the next 2, that'd be great.
Yeah, I would imagine this next one is gonna be too soon for him because, like he said, he had his little thing going on. Maybe 808 or 809.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll figure it out from there. I'm gonna end the stream, but Colton, stay there. All right,
Bye, everybody.
Jen, Roxanne, anyone else? Thank you so much. We're gonna end the stream here. Where do we find video for the guy you're trying to get? Oh, his name is. Let me try and link it since we're right here. What'd I say his name was? Slipmaker.
Slipmaker. Also, we can definitely post this video on Facebook too.
Yeah. And I'm going to. I'm gonna put it in the show notes and whatnot. I'm excited to watch it.
I saw that he has a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh my god, this is not like just a one-off thing he did.
No.
Hold on, Roxanne, getting it for you. There you go, Roxanne.
Holy cow.
What?
Boardwalk Empire on his video on Boardwalk Empire has 72,000 views.
Jeez. All right, thanks Ed, thanks Roxanne, thanks Jen.
Thanks, y'all.
You guys all have a wonderful night. All right.